Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. One more time, breathe in, breathe out. So I'll quickly review everything. First of all, when you're doing Tai Chi, you should be doing abdominal breathing, which means when you breathe, as we get older, our breath goes up and we become panicky. We want to push our breath down to our abdomen. Any kind of martial arts or meditation or any kind of practices have you do this. So just put your fingers in your navel, just do 3 breaths. So breathe in, your abdomen goes out, which is below your navel. Breathe out, comes in. Relax your body, breathe in. Breathe out. And then breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, so for all the movements, you're doing abdominal breathing. So that's review 1. All right. Tai Chi 13, it's 5 and 8. 5 is the directions, the 5 directions and the 8 gestures. So the 5 directions are, first, we're stable. So we're in the center, so our feet are about shoulder width apart. Our body's relaxed. Our weight is in the center of our feet. So both in our balls of our feet and our heels, our toes are grabbing the ground. Breathe in. Breathe out. There, you've already learned the first direction, which is earth, which is stability. Now we're going to go, I'll just go through it here. We go up. Breathe in. That's forward and up. Breathe out, down and in. And then we post. We turn to the left and our hands float up. It's looking left, come back to the center, post to the other side, gaze right, come back, and post. All right. What's so special about that? Everybody can do it? Okay, so we're just going to review the extra things that you're not seeing. So when we're here, when we go forward, the weight goes into the balls of our feet and our toes. We don't lift our heels, but we're shifting our weight forward, our hands are going up, and then in Tai Chi, our hands the gestures mean that our hands do what our body is doing. So see, as we go forward, shift our weight forward, our hands start going up, and then what we do is we slightly arch our back, and that throws up, so throws our hands up. So we're here, arching our back, and we get here, we sink down into our heels and our toes, and then round our back, and that pulls our hands back down. So actually when we're going up, we're up and arch, and then shift back into our heels and round our back. That's actually turning our spine into a pump, moving spinal fluid is up to our brain, plus our hands, once again, our hands are doing what are expressing what our body's doing. So that's those 2. So we have 3, so that's earth, up, arch our back, round our back, that's 3. The other one is we post. So when you post, hip, knee, and ankle are straight, and then almost all the weights on this foot. This right now for this are like it's 70, 30, 80, 20. So most of our weight's here, and then we sink down a bit, so now we're stable. And then what we do is to get our hands to go over there, we don't do that. So we shift forward, see our hands are going in that direction, and then we turn our waist and that throws them up. So once again our hands, and see, so now we go back this way, that pulls our hands down, then we turn and that throws our hands up this way. So we're here, post, look left, return to the center, post, our hands go this way, gaze right, and then come down. So we'll just go through that one time. So that's the 5 directions. So standing is 1, and then breathe in, up, arch our back, weight on the balls of our feet, breathe out, round pull in our pelvis, sink down, weight in our heels. Now shift, I'll mirror you, so you want to shift left, turn, your hands come up, Let's look left, come back, post to the other side, turn your hands, gaze right, and then we come back to the center and we're stable again. That's the 5 directions. You need that when you're doing your Tai Chi. You're like stable, so you have like all your weight on one foot, so this is stability, but now you're going to move forward and then you gaze right, earth, shift, gaze left. So you use that, so you're just not like waving your hands around, you're actually using your body to change directions. So you have to know the 5 directions for all your other forms. Okay, so now we have the 8 gestures. So what they are is, first of all, the first set of gestures, I'll do the whole thing, but the first set it's called grasp the bird's tail, and it's all considered, even though it's a whole bunch of movements, it's considered one movement, which is this. So you're gonna, in grasp the bird's tail, I'll just demonstrate it. You come up, and this is called ward off, roll back, press, then pull, push. That's grasp a bird's tail, and then that's all considered one movement. And then usually after that you do something called single whip. So you come around, you pick up a bird's egg, and you separate and go down. And so you have like Tai Chi 24, all this. Do it really fast here for you. This in Tai Chi 24 is considered 2 movements. So even though it sounds like, oh, it's not that hard to learn, it's actually, you repeat a lot of the things and a lot of the movements that have several parts to them, so it's actually like 100 movements or something. Okay, so we have to learn that now. So this is the 8 gestures. So once again, they look simple, but a lot's going on. So what we're going to do, I'll do it facing you. So first, we want our feet about 1.5 shoulder widths apart, because we're going to post. But if your feet are close, it's like you can't really tell what's going on. What we want to do is when we're posting, we're going to move and then sink. So we move our hips and then we sink into this leg for stability, because what we're doing is the first movement is shouldering. So you're here, you just post to this side and sink. So if there was someone here, when you sink, you'd be hitting with your shoulder. You're not leaning, you're just moving into their space and taking it over by sinking. Okay, so let's put our hands up here. So now we're going to post, sink, that's 1, and then we're going to turn our waist. And what happens when we turn our waist, our hands are up here, we're going to hit them with our elbows. So that's number 2. So 1, 2. So that's 2 of the 8. So post, sink, so we're stable. Now that we're stable, we can turn our waist. All right, so we post and turn our waist. So the third part then is expressing with our hands what's going on. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your pulse on your right. So you're going to post to the side. Take your pulse. We're going to shift, sink, so that's shoulder. Now we're going to start turning, and that's elbow, and then our hands come up. And what this hand does depends actually on the form. For what we're doing today is we're going to lower it, but in different forms, this depending on style, what this hand does, but they're separate, and this hand is warding off. So we're here, take your pulse on the other side, sink, shift, and then sink, so you're stable, that's earth, turn, this is actually called mountain because mountain's powerful on the top, then we turn, that's your elbow, and then this hand comes up. So we're here, post, sink, turn for the elbow, and then our hand comes up here, post, sink. So that's actually the first 3 of the 8, because there's 1 that's called mountain when you hit them with your shoulder, 2 that's called valley, and then 3 depends on which movement you're doing. In this case, we're warding off. So we're here, post, sink, so we're stable, turn, elbow, and this hand comes up. So that's ward off. So that's the first one, but we're going to see this is the main thing. All the movements start out with shoulder. So mountain, valley, mountain, valley. Okay, so one other thing before we get into the rest of the movements. Put your hands here. So we're posting, and then we turn. So see, my hands are pointing at the corner. Post, settle, turn my waist. But see, my hands are rigidly. Right now I'm holding them tight so that you can see that my hands, to get them to go from one corner to the other, I do that by moving my waist. Okay, so now the hard part. So now I just want you to put your hand in front of your heart. We're going to do exactly the same thing. So you're going to post, and now you're going to turn until your hands facing the corner. Switch. So post, sink, elbow, turn. Post, sink, elbow, turn. This is, now you're doing Tai Chi because my hand is expressing what my body's doing. Posting, sinking, turning, here. So now I want you to know that you and I are doing this, but what everybody else is doing is this. They're posting, now that we've disconnected the hand, they're here, and as they turn, they're here. So now your hand should stay in front of your heart, but everybody except you and I have gone over here. So their hand's now over there. I think 90% of the students do this when they're learning. So they post, turn, and then they want their hand to be over there, and they move this, so their hand stays here. You have to really, this is learning your proprioception, learning your body awareness. You post, turn, and now you can keep your hand, you're aware that your hand's in front of your heart the whole time. All right, as opposed to, this looks graceful, maybe, but it's not Tai Chi. This is, now, and then as people go on, they turn the body less and less, and pretty soon they're just doing this, right? So you want to make sure, this is why you learn your basic skills. You post, turn, post, sink in, elbow, turn. All right. So we're going to come up. I'll do it this way. So we're going to come up, we post, we take our pulse, sink, and then we turn and our hands separate, take the pulse on the other side, sink, turn. So now what we're going to do is we grab a rope, turn our hand over, and we're going to sink. We do the same thing, pull over, sink, that we shoulder, now we elbow, and we turn our hands together. So once again, so I'll do it from the front. So we're here, we post, we grab a rope, turn this hand over, now we shift and sink. And now we turn our hands, but see, once again, my hands aren't moving. So we elbow, see, so we shoulder, that's mountain, valley, elbow, and see now my hands are not moving. See, because if I turn back to the front, you see this is in front. So here, we're there. Now, grab the rope on this side, turn your hand over, go sink, elbow, turn, grab, go over. This is roll back, sink, elbow, and turn. Okay, so that's number, that's number 4, but it still has 1 and 2 in it. It has 1, mountain, sink, 2, elbow, and then 3, our hand movement for this is just turning, but we're not moving our arms. Our arms appear to be going over there, but it's because we're moving our body. See, my hands are not moving. This is crucial because otherwise, one of my teachers says Tai Chi is for smart people with weak arms, because you don't want to just push something. When you go to push a car, you just don't push it like this. You go down and you use your body to do it, right? You do this as opposed to, I don't know, the car's not moving, right? So it's the same thing when you're expressing your energy. You're moving, you're not moving your hands, so you're not doing this. You're getting here, posting, shifting, and then you're using your body to move your hands, and that way you can express your power better. Plus, right now, I'm trying to show you, but when you're doing it, everything's very relaxed. You want energy to flow through your body, but you want energy to move, and you do that by moving your body. And the twist also are massaging for the health things, because you're doing things by turning your waist. You're massaging your internal organs, pushing fluids around. You're throwing energy out to your extremities, and by sinking and posting, you're building up right now almost all your weights on one leg. You're building up your ankle and leg strength. So that's Tai Chi, works on a lot of stuff at once. And of course, we're doing abdominal breathing at the same time. Don't forget that. So, all right, so where are we? So we've got, we're gonna sorry, I'll try to mirror you. So I'll go, you're taking your pulse, post, sink, elbow, ward off. Take our elbow, sink, turn, grab the rope, turn it over, post, sink, turn, this is roll back, grab the rope, pull, sink, roll. Okay, so now we're going to do press. Now press, it's almost like ward off the hand, but what happens is, so you're putting your hand on your wrist, it appears to be the same. You're taking your pulse, you're posting and dropping, but with press, your hands stay together. So instead of separating, when you press, you're turning and your hands stay together. Turn your hand over, take the pulse on the other side, shift, sink, turn elbow, and then press. We'll just do that a couple more times. Take your pulse, post, sink, elbow, press. Take the other pulse, over, sink, elbow, press. Okay, so that's 5. You've got 5. You've now got 5 of the 8. So we're going to do that's where we are now. So we ended up here. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your pulse. You're going to post to the center and turn. But when you get here, then you're going to separate your hands. So we just did the last press. And you're going to come back here, separate your hands, and you're going to pull back to your pecs and then drop down. So you pull in, and then you drop down, and then we get here, you push up. So what's happening is you pull in, you grab, if you want to know the Marshall thing, someone's got your shoulders, has grabbed your shoulders, so you put your hands inside, grab their elbows, separate their hands, pull them in as you sink down. That's pulling them toward you. You actually hit them with your head then. And then you sink down. Now they're stunned. And so you sink down and you push up. So we're here. We pull in and sink down. Then our hands come to our navel. And then when we sink, we don't do this because now we're off balance. Instead, we want to root. It's called rooting. So we're here, sink down, and then as we push, It's like we sink a little bit more as we push up, because that way we can use our strength to push up. Okay, so that's 6 and 7. That's pulling and pushing. So we're almost done. We only have one more after this. So we'll just do that. So we're here. We press, and now we're going to come to the center, separate our hands, pull in toward our pecs as we sink a bit, and then we put our hands down to our navels, and then as we push out, we're like getting underneath them and pushing up, but we're not coming up with our bodies. We're sinking so we become more stable, and we're pushing up. All right. So we'll do those one more time. So and then we'll do the whole form up till there. So we just finish pressing, sink to the center, bring our hand around, separate, pull into the pecs, sink down, and then push up. All right. So we'll go up to there, and then we'll do the last one, which is splitting the heavens. That's called single whip. Okay, so here we go. Everything but the last move. So we're here. With our feet about 1.5 shoulder widths apart, so we can see that we're actually posting. So we don't want to have our feet too close. So we're here. Our hands, we're going to shift. Let's see, we'll shift this way. Our hand comes over, taking our pulse, posting, turning. Take the pulse on the other hand, sink, turn, separate. Remember this hand is staying in front of our heart. Okay, so now we're going to grab the rope, turn our hands over, post, sink, turn, grab the rope, post, sink, so we're stable, turn. Okay, so now we're going to take our pulse. So this is pressing, post, sink, turn, our hands stay together. Take the pulse on the other side, post, sink, turn. Okay, so now we're going to come back to the center, separate, pull in. We sink a little bit as we pull in, and then we lower our hands, and then we sink some more as we push. All right, and then for this one, we'll just come back to our original position. So we'll do that one more time. I'll do it facing this way, it might help. So we're here. So we'll come to this side, take our pulse, post, sink, turn. Sorry, I forgot to separate. Take our pulse, post, sink, turn. Okay. Grab the rope, turn the hand over, post, sink, turn. Grab the rope, turn our hand over, post, sink, turn. Gonna take our pulse, post, sink, press. Take the other pulse, post, sink, so we're stable. That was shoulder, elbow, and then we press. Now we're gonna go back to the center. We separate our hands, pull our hands toward our pecs, lower our hands to our navels, and then push up, and then we're coming back. Okay, so you're up to Tai Chi 12 now. So that's the first. So that set of movements, like I said, this is called grasp the bird's tail. So that's usually in most forms, that's considered just like one movement. They'll say, they'll say the next movement is grasp the bird's tail. Usually you're moving back and forth across the room, and when you get to the end, to turn around, you do grasp the bird's tail, and then you do single whip, and so now you're facing the other way. So aside from the fact that you're learning, the major movements, like how to move and gesture with your hands, because you're moving, sinking. So, but you want to get this, like you're moving, sinking, so you're stable, turn, you want to hit with your elbow, and then whatever you're expressing, whatever your hands are expressing at that time. So that part changes, but this whole part is mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley. And then your hands do something at the end. Okay, the last movement is, so we've just pushed. So what's going to happen, I'll just show you what happens. So this hand comes around and makes a little nest, and the other hand reaches down and picks up a bird's egg. And now your hands are, it's like in a bird's beak, so your hands comes together, all your fingers come together, so it's like you're holding a pencil, right? So it's a little bird's beak, and then it's like now you've got the pencil in there. So you're holding the pencil, and now you're trying to write on your forearm when you do it. So you pick up the egg, and then it's in this position. So that's that hand position. So we were here, we pushed, this hand comes over, makes a nest. I pick up the bird's egg, and now I'm gonna post and turn, right? So this hand comes over, I pick up the bird's egg, come over, post, sink, and then I turn. So you don't want to be doing this. This hand kind of comes out, it ends up, it's a little bit behind, and it's fairly straight, so you don't want to be doing this. Anytime you do any of your Tai Chi movements where you're like this, you're cutting off the circulation. Usually with Tai Chi, you want all your joints and to be open, so it's very relaxing. You're trying to get energy to flow through your body. Hopefully when you get done, your hands are a little bit swollen because blood's finally flowing up to your, flood out to your fingertips and help keep them healthy. So anyway, so here we are. We just pushed up. All right, you're going to have I'll try to reverse you. So you'll have your left hand come under, make a little nest. You're going to pick up with the bird's beak, pick up the egg, put your hands together. Now you're going to post to the other side, and then this hand comes up, and this hand you separate, and this hand comes over. Make the nest, pick up, post, sink as usual. Now once again we're using our elbow, and then this comes around and you're sinking, and then you're coming back. So that's called single whip, is what that's called. So, and that's usually when you do in all the forms. Usually what happens is you do grasp the bird's tail, and that's almost always followed by single whip. So that's kind of like this little form that you're learning, the Tai Chi 13, is actually an integral part of almost every other Tai Chi form that you're going to learn. But you want to make sure you're doing the posting and sinking, and then post, elbow, switch, post, sink. Now that we're stable, now I can turn my elbow, and then my hands are following my waist. Okay, so we're going to do it. I guess the class is almost over, so we're going to do it twice. We'll do it once. I'll do it facing you, and then I'll do it away from you. So I'll try to mirror you, but let's see. I'll do it this way first, so it's easier. So we're coming up. You breathe in, breathe out. So now you shift to this side. Take your pulse in your left hand, post, sink, turn. Take your pulse on this side, post, sink, turn. Grab the rope, turn your hand over, post, sink, roll back. Grab the rope, turn your hand over, post, sink. So that allows you to elbow. You're rolling back. Okay, so now you're going to take your pulse again. Now we're going to press, post, sink, elbow, press. Other one, post, sink, elbow, press. Come back to the center. Hands come out. Pulling in. As you sink down a bit, your hands come down to your navel and then push up. Okay, so this hand comes up, makes the nest. Grab the egg. So we're going to post sink, and then this hand comes around, elbow, hand. Grab the egg, come over, post sink, elbow, hand. Then just come back to the center and go down. Congratulations, you know you're first. This is actually not just me, this is actually a well-known Tai Chi form. So if you learned your first Tai Chi form, and hopefully you've learned a lot of the principles, we'll go from the front one time so you can see. So we're here, we can breathe in, breathe out. Okay, so you can post. I think we did it. Let's see, I'm reversing you, so I think, let's see, I did this side, so I think I have to do this side. So take your pulse, post, sink, elbow, turn. Take your pulse, post, sink, elbow, turn. Grab the rope, turn your hand over, post, sink, stability. This is the earth one of the 5 movements. Now we turn, so that elbows, and then we continue to turn. Post, elbow, sink, elbow, turn. Take your pulse, post, sink, turn. That's pressing. Take your pulse, post, sink, elbow, press. Now you're going to come back to the center. Take your hands, pull in as you sink down slightly, pull down like to your pecs. Then if you get here, go to your navel. Then as you push up, sink a bit more. Now you're going to go to the side, make the nest, pick up the bird's egg. You're going to post, sink, elbow. As you sink down, and then this hand comes out, make the nest, pick up the egg, post, sink, this comes out. Now we're going to come back to the center, breathe out, and then you can step up. So, okay, we're going to have a question and answer period. I'm just going to we're going to pull down the heavens to end the lesson. So you're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and then breathe in, breathe out, and then clap. Because we did something good for ourselves. Body, mind. Okay. So Jake should be calling me in a second here. So if you want to review this was the Tai Chi 13 form. It's a well-known form, introductory form that teaches you your basic skills so that when you do your other forms, you just don't do a lot of garbage. All the things that we did, all the principles, when you're doing your Tai Chi forms, like you're doing, when you're stepping, you step forward and then it's shoulder, elbow, hand. This is earth, see, everything's stable. Stepping out, shoulder, elbow, hand. So it's a basic, what we just did is basic to all your Tai Chi forms. So you can review this. It's going to be on our site, qolnow.com. You go to the Sunday review page, you can watch this in the last few of them. Next week we're going to return to doing the winter water forms, which is working on our kidneys. We also have, if you want to give a donation, we gratefully accept that. We're trying to cover a lot of our costs here, so you can go to our donation page, or if you want to donate on a regular basis, you can become a paid member. It's only $4 a week to become a member. All right, so here we go. We'll see if there's any questions. Jake, are there any questions?
No questions yet.
All right, no questions yet. All right.
Would you please review the 8 movement names?
Review the 8 movement names. So you can look these up. These are standard. They're probably there's one of the most well-known. They're in every single form. So the first one is called ward off. So it's like you're pressing someone away, and you grab their shoulder and you're pulling them in. So you ward them off. Now you grab their shoulder and you roll back. So you're pulling back, and now you're going to press them away. So your hands come together on this one. The first one you're warding off. Your hands are separate. Roll back. You have their shoulder and their elbow. As you kind of get them off balance, you return to push. That's press. So it's ward off, roll back, press, and these are easy. Pull, push. So that's those ones. And then in this one, where you pick up and go across, that's called single whip. And usually, so people usually, this is 5 movements. A lot of people don't talk about the first 2, which is mountain and valley, because this one and this one, which is actually the secret ingredient. So you're not just doing this. If you do the shoulder, valley, and then you do the movement, as opposed to just moving your hands over. So, but for some reason, most people don't mention that. So there's 6 movements. They usually just have kind of the 6 movements, which is, ward off, roll back, press, pull, push, and single whip. And they never kind of mention mountain and valley, which is actually it's part of every single movement. So they often don't actually point that out, even though it's crucially important for having a good form. All right, any other questions?
Yes, kind of 2-part. Can you explain what posting is? And when you post, do you push up with one side, with the opposite leg?
Yes. Okay. So what's posting, and do you push out with the other leg? So posting, in this case, is you're shifting your weight onto one leg. So you go in. So hip, knee, and ankle are straight. Usually your foot, unless you have some, if you might have some flexibility problems, but usually you try to have your foot be straight forward, and then your hip, knee, and ankle are straight. And 90, almost all the weight's on this leg. So this one, you should be able to lift up, or when you're walking, you actually have all the weight on that leg. But this is, you shifted, you're posted here, and you drop down so you're stable. So this is moving your hips, you're now getting your energy moving in this direction, but then before you express your energy, you want to have a stable base. And yes, you push off. So what you do is actually you push off with the ball of your foot on the leg that goes. It looks like it's straight, but it's actually just it's not locked, because that would stop energy from flowing. So you push off with the ball of your foot on this one, and then when you come over, when you sink into your heel. So you're actually almost doing like this is a little more advanced. Your hips are almost doing like a little figure 8, because you're pushing off with the ball of your foot, and then you get here, and then you sink into your heel, push off with the ball of your foot, and then you sink into your heel. When you see people doing it, when they know how to do it, it's like you don't see it. So I tell my students, if you can see that you're doing mountain valley, you're not doing it right, because when someone's really good at Tai Chi, they're doing it mountain valley, and you don't even see that they've shifted, sunk down, hit with their elbow, and then done like say part the wild horse's mane. They're here, you've posted, sunk, hit with their elbow, and go up. But you don't. People just see this, right? They don't see the, mountain, valley, and then the expression. Mountain, valley, and then the expression. So if you're doing it right, people don't even see that you're doing it. But it's crucially important for, revealing, pushing, getting your energy. Otherwise, you're off balance, or you're not using your body, so you're just like using your arm to push, or if you haven't sunk, then you're off